start streaming. Let me do it on this. Seems like it's going.
Why did she turn it?
I don't know. I don't think it is. Yes, it is. Why is it turned it on? There it goes. Keeps turning off. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can switch to the other one.
Okay, so I have to keep it like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just use your phone to see comments and stuff. Someone said hello.
Why does it keep doing that?
Just pick that one up. There you go.
Can I not minimize?
No.
Why? Will it not work if I keep it like this?
Brendan, stop yelling.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my phone and see if I can't pull it up on my phone. Okay. So let me just see if I can. Switch counts. Okay, so we are live. So for those watching, hi. My name is Kyla. I'm actually the author of the Broken series. I'm the one who wrote them. And my cousin Alicia, she's going to be here any second. She's the one who reads the audio on Broken series. She does a really, really great job. And we're going to be talking about a bunch of things in a minute. But we're just waiting for her. She's had a pretty rough day already. And so we're just kind of trying to get back in the swing of things, and of course we are late. We originally said that we were going to be on at a certain time, and then it never happened, but we are now, and we're going to do our best to try and get this going. And yes, we are live right now.
Hello.
So according to my thing, I put we are live. There is a person, Crystal Eclipse. I think that's the one that was Skylar, your Alexi's friend, right? So she's here as well. And I'm just trying to see if I can't share this. I can too. Okay, perfect. Newsfeed. I'm trying to share it live. But everyone can see you. It was like blacked out for a few times there. It was like, you were there, and then you were black, and then you were there, and then you were black. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I'm trying to figure it out. I think I have got it. I can see you. I did share my screen with you so you can see what I'm seeing, which is great. And I kind of made everything go good. So let's just hope that we're okay.
Perfect.
I did write down some questions for you.
Oh.
So.
This is you.
Huh? I know, but I wanted to do it.
All right. Sorry, I'm just posting that we're live as well.
Yep, I did too. So I sent it to a few people that we are live. And the cool thing is to, like right now, if I switch from where we are right now on this page to the other part, like I'll lose you, like the picture of you. So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to use my phone to see comments and stuff like in real
Yeah,
time. And you can
absolutely.
do that as well. So
Yep.
we can see it,
For sure.
which is great.
AJ says hi.
Yeah, that's my cousin, Adam.
Mm-hmm. Hi,
So,
other cousin.
hi. So Alicia is my cousin on my mom's side. So she's here today. She's actually the reader of my books on the YouTube page. So that's
Yes, ma'am.
so okay. So yeah, I just wanted to like share a few times on Facebook and other things that like, obviously just to get a few people in here before we start. And obviously I think it says we have 5 people watching, which is, I mean, I guess one of those is me because I'm using my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching myself. So that's really great. So this whole thing that you're seeing right now for the people who are watching this is actually made by my fiance. He wanted us to be able to look like 2 people, but also be able to see not only like us, but like my 2 books that I have there, which is super awesome. I like the look of it. I wish there was background.
Mm-hmm. Good job, Daniel.
So I'm very excited to do it, and then when we do our next live video, we can push like lost and found and broken aside and put like mended right there,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
which will be nice. Okay, so I guess what do you want to start with?
Okay, so I guess we can start because we do have somebody in here that doesn't know exactly who you are. So maybe go on about who you are, where you're from, your family.
Okay, so I don't know if I start off who I am because I'm still figuring that out. But I am the author of the books that you see on the screen. And I'm living in Sweden right now. I'm originally from Northern Ontario, Canada, in a small little town called Kirkland Lake. Very, very boonies. Now a lot of people know where that is, which I guess is fine. I mean, it's I don't know, it's really boonies. And
Way up north.
yes, yes, way up north. Like it's ridiculous how north it is. Um, I don't know what else to say about myself. I have brown hair and hazel eyes.
So where you're in Sweden.
Yes, in Hallstavik, which is or Hallstavik in English. It's in Sweden, and it's in I would say it's in a part of Sweden that is not north. I don't know if we're south or something. I know I'm not 100% sure. But it's very very small, just like Kirkland Lake. So it's not that far off from where I was.
Mhm.
So I don't know what else to say.
And you're a mama.
And I'm a mama. I have a son who just turned a year and a half on Friday. His name is Xavier. Super, super, super cute little guy. And
Mhm.
he's becoming a really, really smart boy. And I'm kind of scared because me and his father are just, we're really dumb. So it's like,
Oh, you're not dumb.
so, so it's like, it's just kind of like, when you see him do stuff that's like really incredible, you're just like, where the heck did you get that from? Because I don't know.
Mhm. Absolutely. Okay, so do you want to? I guess we'll get started.
Hmm.
We've been live for a little bit.
Yeah. For sure.
So, okay, I know we did a Facebook Live for people on here that may not have known. Broken Series is on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to kind of cover some of those questions, I think, because they were pretty good. We got into a really great conversation. So we'll start off with, so what did your family think of your writing?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, it depends on who you ask. A lot of people did not know I could write. A lot of people didn't know that I wrote books or anything of the sort. Like, a lot of people were like, whoa, you write? I'm like, yeah. So a lot of people didn't know. When it came to Matt, my stepfather, he was the one who, sorry, I have to fix my hair. He was the one who read most of my stuff, even my short stories that I never published. And he said a lot of my writing was very demented and very like twisted and sick, and like some of them, the way I describe things in some like short little horror stories were so graphic and so, I guess you'd say, like so horrific that he would just be like as he was reading it. So he would say my writing's very demented, but he also said like my writing is super fantastic, that it's very different. And a lot of people, from what they've told me, basically they said like reading my books is like reading, like watching a movie, basically, the way I write, which I think is fantastic. I mean, that's the way I want to write. That's the way I like to read. So,
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Like even this Broken Series, I think I've said that to you a lot. It's definitely movie material, that's for sure.
I hope so. I hope one day.
Yeah. So, as a child, what did you want to do when you grew up?
Oh, we're doing this again.
Oh, we're doing this one again. It's probably my favorite.
Okay, so as a child, when I walked my littleness up to the class, I wanted to be a veterinarian. But instead of saying veterinarian, I said I wanted to be a vegetarian. And then the class laughed at me, and I had no idea why until someone explained to me that what I said wasn't what I said. So it was a very embarrassing thing, but I mean, like, I've had plenty of, I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to own a hotel and a restaurant. I wanted to own my own bakery. I wanted to own, everything. But I think at like 13, 14, that's when I was like, I really want to be an author. I really want to be a writer. And it's something I'm really good at. So, yeah, that's kind of where it went.
So, when you're not writing, what do you like to do?
Binge TV shows.
Oh, yeah? What
Like
kind?
Supernatural for sure. I'm also really into 911 and 911 Lone Star, Chicago
Mm-hmm.
Fire, Heartland, which we don't get out here on any channel, so I have to really, really surf the web for that. And then there's like legacies and just other movies and TV shows, and I usually end up watching the same movies and TV shows over and over and over and over and over again because I love them so much. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Um, so when did you first realize that you wanted to be a writer?
Um, when I was about 13, because I wrote a poem for my school and it literally took me 5 minutes. And I ended up blowing a couple other students out of the water and won $50 for it. And I realized like this is something I could do, and it's just like I'm really good at it. So why not just try and do it? So when I started writing my short stories and then having my stepdad really be that supporter that told me like, "Hey, you're doing great. This is awesome." And I'm like, "Oh, this is great." So around 13, 14 is when I realized this is something that I'm good at and I want to do it.
No, that's amazing. So if you take Broken, because Broken is your first completed book,
Mm-hmm.
how long did it take you to write Broken?
3 months.
3 months.
I could literally sit and write a whole entire chapter in probably the span of 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Sometimes if it took me a long time, it would probably be an hour, not more than an hour. So yeah, it didn't take me long at all, and it's very easy for me to write. It's very easy for me to, you know, pull things out of my butt when it comes to writing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Lost and Found. I know you've been working on, and then we started the YouTube channel, and I think I diverted a lot of your attention to over here.
Yeah.
So do you have like a goal in mind for like wrapping up Lost and Found and getting it out?
Yes. So my goal is it's 21st now, right? Okay, so I had a really, really good day yesterday, and I wrote 2 chapters, number 43 and number 44, and I posted those to Jeannie right away. So there's literally 6 left, and I think I have maybe, I'd say almost a page written of 45. So if I had to guess, I would say by the end of this month, Lost and Found should be absolutely finished. Now, it's probably going to take me a few days to post Lost and Found and revamped copy of Broken onto Blurb for purchase, because the way that the format is, it's a pain in the butt. So it takes me such a long time to do it. So I think it'll take me like up to a week to get both done, which is going to really suck. And I mean, the the how do you say it? The format itself makes everything kind of spaced out. And
Mm-hmm.
then the program itself can't handle that much editing at once, so it tends to freeze every 2 seconds. And there's nothing you can do about it. So unfortunately, it takes me like maybe 3 hours to get through maybe 2, 3 chapters because it freezes so often, which is why it takes me so long. So I'm gonna say within a couple weeks, middle to end of April latest, I will have both the revamped copy of Broken and Lost and Found up on Blurb. We're ready for purchase for anybody who wants a physical copy.
Yeah, and where I mean, I have a physical copy of Broken. So where are we able to purchase these?
You can go to blurb.com or blurb.ca, depending on where you're from, and you can buy it there. But the thing is, there is a copy of Broken that is available on blurb.com and blurb.ca. But unfortunately, as you can see with Alicia's copy,
Which is this one?
there is a white border around it. Now, that wasn't intentional at all. I
So
didn't,
this white border.
yeah, I didn't format the um, cover properly. So it didn't come out exactly the way I wanted it. And now I know how to fix it. So I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna fix it, I'm gonna revamp everything. There is some editing issues at the back. Instead of being Alicia's my number 1 fan, she's my number fan. So with that,
I'm all of it. I'm all the numbers.
yeah, she's my number fan. So it's really weird. I don't know. So um, I ended up realizing that there's more than one mistake. And as you pointed out, there was a part in my book where I said, "Oh, Dean, the main character, has these nice blue eyes," and then like I don't know, a chapter or two later, I'm like, "Oh yeah, he has nice green eyes."
No, I was reading.
What
I'm
am I
like,
talking about? Yeah. So
yeah.
obviously there was some mistakes, and it's funny because that's the only place I said green eyes. The other times it's all blues. I don't even know if I corrected myself. I don't know where the green eyes came from. So I'm going to re-go in back and fix everything, and then hopefully everything will just kind of flow the way it should be, and it should go back to the way it was, and then there will be no more white border. All the editing will be fixed, and then it'll
Mhm.
be a pristine copy that looks exactly like Lost and Found should.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited to have like this whole set, all 3 books in my hands. Okay. So right now then, what does your writing schedule look like for like, when you were writing Broken, now that you're writing Lost and Found, have you come to like a pattern with your writing? Or a schedule with your writing?
No. A lot of
No.
people ask me that too. When do you update? When do you post chapters? And I'm like, honestly, I couldn't tell you. Some people post every day. Some people post like twice on a Saturday. I have no schedule because life, obviously, as you've seen today, life happens. Life is
Mhm.
crazy. Shit happens. Excuse my
Oh
French.
my lord. Me
Yeah.
too. Like, I'm coming into this interview and I have like barn hair. So, an Under Armour t-shirt. I've spent my day at the barn. It's just been it's been a crazy. So, I apologize for that to
Oh,
you.
it's
Um,
perfect. It's great.
yeah. No, but I totally get the whole life happens.
Yeah,
And I
it
didn't
does.
tell today.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, Xavier, he's in daycare now, right? So it's like every couple days, like when he goes to daycare, the next week he's sick. And then I'm just like, really? And then we have like a week of silence. There's nothing going on. Nobody's sick. Nobody's nothing. And then all of a sudden the bomb drops. Xavier's sick. Daniel's sick. I'm getting sick. Like it's just,
Mhm.
it's constant where somebody's sick, something happens. Like I think it was a few weeks ago, I don't remember what I did. I think I bent down too harshly and I threw out my back. So I couldn't walk for probably about or couldn't walk right and do many things for about 3 days. So that took a lot of out of my writing. So I just basically and there's a lot of days sometimes I don't even feel good. I feel stressed. I feel there's a lot going on, so I just don't write. And I find a lot of things that I do that stress me out when I write. I mean, stress in writing, it doesn't come out right. It just, there's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of, I don't know, just a lot of crappy writing. So I don't like to write when I'm stressed out or had too much going on. So I just kind of leave it at that. So when I
Mhm.
feel great and when, things are great, I write as much as I did. Like you saw yesterday. I had a really great day.
Mhm.
Everything's just flowing out of me. And I did two really, really great chapters, which I got a lot of complaints for. A lot of complaints
Oh
because of
no. Okay,
how.
so
Mm,
I
mm-hmm,
will say,
mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
I think since chapter 41, as you know, I told you that I was stopping because I'm finding your writing is so good and it's so intense.
Oh, thank
But
you.
you read, and then you get to the little unicorn and it's like updating, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Or I message
Yeah,
you and I'm like, no, no, no. It just can't stop here. Like, this is not cool. But so I'm really excited to actually get into it. I
yeah,
know 6 more chapters left. I'm so excited.
yeah. The last chapter, 43, was, um, I believe it was Curtis's point of view, and the one I just published, number 44, was Caroline's point of view. And
Hmm.
let me tell you, some stuff happened in those two chapters, and I had people like rioting. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? This is terrible. Why are you doing this? And I'm just like, I'm sorry. This is just the way the book is going.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so intense.
Yeah.
Um, so when you're writing, what would you say is your interesting writing quirk?
I like to shake my leg up and down. Also, I tend to listen to music. I like really, really soft music when I write. And that's another thing. And then sometimes I don't know, sometimes I make noise. I don't know. And Daniel catches me, he's like, huh? What'd you say? And I'm like, I didn't say anything. And then he's like, yes, you did. Like, it's just depending on what kind of day it is. Or sometimes I'll
Oh,
be really, really close to the screen like this. Just trying to focus.
yeah. Oh my lord. Oh, when did you write your first book? How old were you?
Well, my first stories were when I was 13, 14, 15, and up, but first actual book from start to finish, this was Broken was my first one. that I've ever, because I those short stories, like I said, I used to sit down and used to write these stories, but I never would finish them because they would never go anywhere, or I'd lose interest, or there was just something that I wasn't right with it. So I would never continue. So all these like great stories were being thrown right in the trash. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write everything out from start to finish and we're gonna do it. And then I did,
Mhm.
and then yeah, and I did. So that's
That's
great.
amazing. So just before we keep going, I just want to know, I know AJ, his comments, that's when you get the best of yourself. I'm assuming like that comment was towards like when you're stressed out, and
Yeah.
that is what I'm assuming. And then Crystal wrote, "How are you guys?" So we are great. We do see your comments. So I just wanted to put in there, um, if you guys have questions for Kyla yourselves, I am watching to bring them up, and I will mention your name if you do have questions. But we are going to keep going.
Yeah. If you guys have
Where?
questions for me, absolutely ask away. I would totally love to
Absolutely.
ask me anything. It doesn't even have to be about, the books in general. It could be anything, really. I mean, that's what live streams are for. Just be
Open
asking
book.
questions. Exactly. To be
Okay,
put on the
so
hot seat.
where do you get your information and your ideas for this series? So where did you get all of this
So some of
from?
it is from personal experience. Obviously, in my broken book, there's about abuse and everything like that. And I have endured a lot, some of the domestic abuse, being in a relationship, but it wasn't to the extent that Caroline went to. Obviously, in Caroline's point of view, there's quite a lot of abuse that takes place, and it's very extensive. So I've endured quite a bit, and obviously I don't want to get into it because like I don't, yeah, but it wasn't to the extent that Caroline went into, being taken and um yeah. So there are some real life experiences in there, but a lot of it is just my own imagination. So I'd
Mhm.
say about 20 to 25% of it is real life experiences. The rest, 75%, is just imaginary Kyla land. Like it's imaginary Kyla land.
Because
I
you
went there.
had that personal experience, um, it just helped you be able to build on the whole story
Yeah.
because you already had that 25% of this book.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
like I know how a narcissist um, sounds like and what they act like and what they do and what they say. So obviously when I started writing, I mean obviously a lot of people who have been in the same situation as I have are like, "Oh, you really know how to write this. You really know how to do this because it sounds
Mhm.
like you've been through it." And I'm like, "I have." Some people who haven't been through that, they write about abuse and then you read their writing and then you're like, "This isn't what a narcissist would say. This isn't what they would do. It doesn't make sense." So you would have to be and go through it to be able to write the way I do.
Mhm.
Well, I just
Mhm.
see a couple.
So I have a couple of things. Yeah, Crystal wrote, because you did say that, you were open to any questions.
Okay.
So she would like to know, do you know the game 2048 and have you beat it yet?
I have no clue what that is. I'm a PS4
Neither.
person, okay? I'm a PS4 person. And if there is a PS4 game called 2048, like I've never heard of it. I'm more of a Call of
Yeah.
Duty and more like, those types of games and yeah, and Mario Kart and things like that on my Nintendo Switch. That's about it.
And it looks like Mr. Swedish Geek, who I'm sure I know who this is. You're dang that Kyla sure is a beautiful author, that's for sure. And yes, you are absolutely right.
You remind
Absolutely.
me. Yes, Mr. Swedish Geek
Absolutely.
is my fiance sitting in the other room.
Yep. Um, so out of, I know we haven't gotten to Mended yet. I'm
Hmm.
sure you have your plans for
I
Mended.
do.
So I want to say then, I'm sure I'm really looking forward to Mended, and you know that.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
I'm really looking forward to that book. So I'm sure The way you write and the way I've been engaged, I'm going to get there, where Mended will probably be my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But out of Broken and Lost and Found, which has been your most favorite, like, to write?
So we talked about this before on Facebook Live, and I had my ups and downs with which one I wanted to go with. And I
Mhm.
have to say that Lost and Found is definitely my favorite because of how twisted it is. And like, I'm a horror fanatic. I love horror films and I love writing horror. So to just be able to um, write all that horrific stuff in Lost and Found, the really gory stuff that just makes you go, you know,
Mhm.
that's my favorite thing to do. So anything that I can really get really gross and gory and dark. It's just my favorite thing to do. So Lost and Found is definitely beating Broken because I mean Broken has a couple gory things as well, but it's mostly like, you know, romantic and we get to see the beautiful characters and they get to fall in love and it's great. But then you have Lost and Found, it's like a punch in the face with a bunch of nails.
Mhm. Um, so AJ wrote, how many books do you think may write in this series, or another stories? But I'm sure he's meaning like another series, maybe.
Okay,
Um,
so Broken series is a trilogy. There's three. So Broken is the first one, Lost and Found is the second, the third one is Mended. Mended hasn't been released yet, and Lost and Found has five or six chapters left before it's finished. So there's three books in this series. As for other books and stuff, I do have a couple books in mind. As for another series, I'm not sure yet if the if I do have like a plot or like a story that I think would be great for another series, for even just two books, three books like this one, I might do another series. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I do have a lot of stories in my head, and I have, you know, millions of papers written down with a bunch of plots and millions of other, you know, things on my computer of like half written stories that I could really get into and finish if I put my mind to it. So, um, yeah, there could be more. I know there's going to be more. I love to write, so there is going to be more for sure. But as for like another series, I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to really have a good idea. Like a really
mhm.
good idea.
He wants to know if Stephen King is your favorite author.
No. To be honest, I've watched a couple Stephen King movies. I mean, the first It, I mean, it wasn't scary. Same with Pet Cemetery. It wasn't scary. But the new versions of it and Pet Cemetery, those were kind of freaky. But I think that's because horror films have developed over time. But as for Stephen King novels, no, I haven't really read any of them because I have read maybe halfway through, and I think it was called Doctor Sleep, if I'm correct. And I didn't find it that, you know, scary. So I just,
I'm not, to be very honest with Stephen King, I'm not a
I
big
mean,
fan of.
yeah, I'm sure he's a great author, and I'm no hate to him or anything, but it's just I don't know. I'm not really into him, so I just no.
Sorry. So, if you come across like somebody that wants to write,
Hmm.
do you have any suggestions?
Yes. So
Mhm.
any time that you have any type of thought, feeling, anything, write it down. Doesn't matter if it's just a character or a name or a plot or just anything. Write it down because in the end, I mean, if you even the things that just seem like they're a dream and you can just forget them because a lot of people forget them, like even myself, where I have a really good idea, I don't write them down, and then the next thing you know, I'm like, oh, what was that really good idea? And I completely forgot it. And that could have been like a bestseller freaking book. I forgot it.
Mhm.
So write it down. Doesn't matter how you know small it is. Doesn't even matter how um in what do you call it unimportant it may seem. Write it down.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Get yourself a notepad.
Yeah. So, what do you think makes a good story?
Good story. It has to have a good plot, good character development, good characters in general. And it has to have plot that makes sense. Obviously, mythical creatures, like I've said before, a lot of them don't make sense because they're mythical creatures or they're sci-fi. It's all in your imagination, which is fantastic. But if it doesn't make sense, then there's no point. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, if I can't read it because it's so out of the blue, it's so off the map that I can't enjoy it. I'm just like, this ain't for me. So I won't finish it. But it has to have really good plots, really good characters, really good character development. Those are the key things that are gonna make your story brilliant. Mwah! Love you.
Sorry. Yeah, so I'm being. Ryan is in the back. He's making me a drink. I'm really
Oh,
thirsty.
oh
Sorry.
yeah. Daniel, can you get me some pop?
Our
Thank
interviews
you.
tend to be quite long from experience. AJ wants to know what your favorite horror movie is.
You know what? I really love The Conjuring, The Conjuring 2, like Annabelle and all that series with Ed and Lorraine Warren because those people were just, I mean, they were fantastic. And I mean, RIP to both of them because they were just so fantastic people and they did their best to help those anybody in their situation. And just the Ed and Lorraine Warren stories, they're so interesting. And they're
Mm,
so, creepy and just the way that they experienced and, Lorraine being a psychic medium. Thank you. Thank you a psychic medium and everything, like the way that she describes her stories and the way that they tell the stories in the movies is just so creepy, and I love it. Scares the
yeah.
crap out of me, but I love it.
I I can't. I used to watch them all the time, and then thank you. And then sorry, I just got my iced coffee. um, then I had kids, and that was it. I used to love them. Now
Mm,
I don't know. I have best friends upstairs, and what did we watch? Well, I watched that. Is it Paranormal Activity?
those suck.
Yeah, I wasn't scared. I was like waiting for it. He's like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's it? Okay." But then we just watched another one. Oh, another one, and I can't remember. But she's like,
Ouija board.
no, not Ouija board. We watched the next one. Anyways, it's like she's possessed. The girl, I
Mm.
don't remember. That was freaky.
There's a few. I mean, there's a apartment
Oh,
13 something or 14 something that's very, very
oh,
creepy. Um, and just there's a couple that are really, 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 really creepy, but like I don't know, I find if it's too cheesy, like Paranormal Activity, I can't sit through it.
but
It
I find with all the horror movies, you know there's an ending coming. So that's what I think in order for myself to be able to even get through one, that's
yeah.
what I have to think about. So gory scene comes, I'm like, it's just ketchup, it's just ketchup, it's just ketchup. Like, that's how I can get through my stuff.
I think the
Um,
one movie that really, really made me almost like sick was the fact that there's two. One, Wrong Turn. Some of the scenes in Wrong Turn were like so gory that I was like, ugh. And then Saw as well. Some of the scenes in Saw were
oh,
just really oof.
oh, can I tell you a really quick story about Saw?
Mm.
Really funny. So I took my oldest to the movie theater, and it was Christmas time, so we were going to watch like The Grinch or something, or I think it was Polar Express, something like that. Long time ago, he was little, and theaters packed with um, tons of children and their parents, grandparents, whatever, and so they're playing previews. You know, you would think somebody would be like, well, these are adult previews, really not what they would play for.
Children?
Yeah. So then Saw comes on and he's like screaming, "Mommy, mommy!" I'm like, "It's okay, it's just a preview." No, they all out played Saw during Christmas for a whole theater full of kids. Yeah, he was freaking.
Oh my
Kids
God.
were screaming and crying. Yeah, because you know Saw, when they start, it's all out gory, gross. Yeah, not good. Yeah.
Wow. As if.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Hmm.
That is so
I
freaking
know.
crazy.
So let's go back to more of your Broken series. So when you're writing, do you think you're going to be creating books just for adults, or do you have other plans?
I create a lot of content for adults because it's just something I like to write. It's the, what do you call it, the age group that I'm really interested in writing for. But it's not
Mhm.
limited. Like I can write some soft, fluffy stuff for kids if I want to. And I think what the good thing with our YouTube channel is that I'm possibly going to write some special content for different types of holidays, like for Easter and for, for summer and Halloween and things like that, and Christmas. Like those are good holidays to really write a small short story for our YouTube page to really help expand. But
Mhm.
also it's great because we can kind of contribute, like for Easter, for example, to write something like, oh, fluffy bunnies and bunnyland. It's really great for kids, and I think that could be a target audience as well. But I know a lot of our stuff on YouTube, on our YouTube page, is a lot of R-rated stuff, and so is it great
Yeah.
for kids? No. Um, but I'm not limited to just writing for adults. I actually did write a children's book when I was about 16. So, obviously
Mhm.
I lost it through my many computer changes, but I'm not limited to it. So I could if I wanted to.
Very nice. Good enough. So when you were writing this series, I really want to try to focus a lot on, I think, this series, of course. So what was one of the most surprising things you learned in creating this series so far?
One that I could write. I didn't actually think that anything that I wrote would be liked by anybody. Anyone who read my content would like anything. So, I mean,
Mhm.
obviously for myself to have people say your content is great, your characters are great, your development's great, your plot is great, is just baffling to me because it was never something that I thought possible. It was never something that I thought would be something that people liked. And
Mhm.
the way that I can write the characters and just pull things, out of nowhere and then place them onto a paper, and then I look back and think I don't have enough content for this chapter, and the next thing you know, poof, it's written, and I'm like, what happened? I like blacked out half of it, and I read
Mhm.
back on my stuff, and it's really good, and I surprise myself constantly doing that, so it's great.
Yeah.
So,
So actually, going back, with your content and stuff, how did you know to put it on Dreamy? That's something I think I would like to know too. Like, where did you find Dreamy? Is it just something you researched and said, "Oh, hey, I'm just gonna throw it on here and see what happens"?
well, to be honest, when I was reading, I was running through a Facebook, and I came across this Dreamy ad, and it had a person named Ambonique. She had her books, Blue Moon series. Very
Mm-hmm.
erotic, very erotic series,
Oh.
but it was a really good plot and really good characters. So I read it and I was really obsessed with it. But then I saw that you can post your stories there for free, and I'm just like, here's my chance to, post it somewhere for free. So I got onto the Dreamy app. I made my own account, and I just thought to myself, if I'm gonna sit down and write a whole entire plot, I better do it, and I'm gonna post it. I mean, it's free. Why not? Let's see how many people like my stories and try to get out there. Because I mean, if you're gonna write a story and you're gonna try to self-publish or publish in general, you need to have some criticism in order to back that up, because you need to be able to improve your stories, your writing,
Mm-hmm.
you as an author. And you obviously, if you have to have some bad comments too, because you can't let your head get too big thinking I'm the best author in the entire
Yeah.
world. You're not. Okay. Like, and I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
great to be modest and stuff. Like, I don't think I'm the best writer in the world. Do I think my content's great? I mean, yeah, I guess. A lot of people like it, but I mean, I'm not going to get a fat head just because, I have 6,000 something reads in my book and I have a bunch of comments telling me I'm great. That's great, but I'm not,
Mhm.
I mean, I criticize myself in my work all the time, so obviously, you have to learn to respect criticism. I enjoy it when someone tells me, hey, you contradicted yourself, or hey, you're, I've never had this comment, but if I ever did, like, oh, your chapter seems a bit rushed. Absolutely. I'm going to take that in consideration and be like, oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
A
No,
lot
I
of
hear
people get a
you.
fat head, so.
Yep.
Hmm.
Um, who is your favorite character in this series? And this is one question. Actually, you know what? I want you to ask me this question.
Okay. Well,
No.
for me, my favorite to write is Curtis
No.
because I know you hate Curtis. I know you hate Curtis, but the reason is because he's so fun to write. Like his twistedness and him carving into somebody or him killing somebody or him just being nasty in general. Like, because I can't be that nasty in person. I'm not that type of nasty person, so I can't just be like, I can't be horrible to somebody. It just doesn't work for me. It's not my personality. So to have a character that can do that, you know?
Hmm.
So he's my favorite tribe, Curtis. Even
No.
though I hate him too, and that's how you know I wrote him good because I hate my own character. So,
Yeah.
Alicia, what is your favorite character in the series and why?
Dean Jameson, 100%. You know what? It's funny because when you first introduced him in the story, um, I honestly thought that it was just like a fluke, I guess. Like I don't know. I didn't seem serious at first, and like that just goes to show like your writing is just not what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess just like how much. Oh, I don't know how much and what he's going through for Caroline, because I don't know how much we want to reveal on this YouTube page for people who haven't um, read. So he is just there. Actually, you had written what chapter am I on? 41. And there, I think it was that chapter where you had written, and I honestly thought he was giving up for a moment. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
no, 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 don't do that. No, 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 no. I love you so much. No,
Don't leave, don't leave,
yeah,
don't leave me.
don't know. So, but like what he's doing and what he's done for her, and he was just there at the right time. Just all of it. Like he is. Yeah,
Okay, keep your pants on. He's just a character.
yeah, no, he's great.
But the
But
way
like
I
what?
wrote him is I wanted him to like the description of like Clark Kent, blue
Yes,
eyes, blackish hair, you know, that's
muscular build.
yeah, muscular
Oh yeah.
build, the manly but also a tiny bit of sensitivity, it's a perfect combination. Um
Yeah.
and for a lot of girls, I mean that's like the dream. So that's kind of why I wanted to do it. And I wanted him to be, semi tall, semi not. So I mean, he would be like the perfect female fantasy, I guess you could say.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. He is. That's for sure. You're done
He got
good.
you wrapped around his finger, and he's a goddamn character. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So with Mended coming out now, do you think you can give us any information what your plan is for Mended? Where the story might go. Again, I don't know how much you want to
Reveal.
reveal or with lost. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that Caroline has been through a lot in Lost and Found. And mended is exactly what you would think for in the title. So, she's sorry. I'm getting this stuck in my hair. Because I have your earphone in my ear so we don't like overlap for sound. I have to have that in
Oh,
my ear. Yeah, it's part of the thing. But anyway, yeah, so for her, like she's been through a lot of stuff in Lost and Found. So like in Mended, that's where we're at. She's kind of like fixing herself and her relationship with Dean. Um, and I think I could just kind of spoiled it for the ending of Lost and
yeah,
Found.
you're saying like she's fixing her relationship. So do you like for those that may have like I don't know how to do this. For
No
those that
bother.
might be in Lost and Found right now and
Hmm.
the story that we know,
Spoiler alert.
do you honestly think she's gonna be able to be fixed?
I think she's gonna have emotional scars for the rest of her life, PTSD. I mean, anyone in that situation would. So definitely there's gonna be a lot of things for her to fix and a lot of things for her to mend.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping for Mended for the last book would be, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I want Dean and Caroline to have a happy ending," and a lot of people do want her to have a happy ending. So I think that's kind of where I'm leaning towards for Mended, is to
Mm-hmm.
give the people what they want.
Yeah, that's good. Um, and I think for you too, like, people like myself, when you wrote in Lost and Found and you had your comment, oh, what do you think is going to happen? Like, one little scene that I keep bringing up to you is when, you put the knife in the,
Two knives and a
uh,
hammer.
yes. So I was able to give my opinion about that, and clearly it was, you know,
Yeah.
not what I was thinking. But do you think you're going to plan to have Mended like that still so that it's just not an expected book, I guess you could say? Like you're just not expecting it to, oh, it's all going to be la 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 and a happy ending, that's it.
Well, I mean, there's going to be some twists and turns and Mended as well. Like, I'm not going to keep
Yes.
it all like cookie cutter
Yes.
stuff. So there is going to be things where you think it's going to go one way and it's going to go another because that's just how I am as an author. So, I
Mhm.
mean, you're going
Mhm.
to think, oh, it's going to go this way, and I'm going to be like, "Meh," the other way. So,
That's you. That
so,
is so you.
but you know what? It keeps it more entertaining. It keeps it more enjoyable because you honestly, I'm trying to fix my glasses there. You don't think that it keeps you entertained. You think it's going to go one way and it goes another, and then I just like, whoa, that's not what I expected. And it keeps you more interested. You
Mhm.
don't lose interest that quickly.
Yeah. That's good. So, do you have plans to write any more? I know you want to do your short stories, and do you have any more plans to write series again after this, or do you want to do just like this big trilogy and then maybe a novel here, a novel there, and keep
I
your
don't
focus
know.
here?
I honestly don't know. I think I might do this series and then might do like a novel here and there and then maybe do another series. Is another series out of the question? Absolutely not. I mean, I came out of this series with, you know, again, out of my butt. So, I mean, I mean, to have another series is not out of the cards for sure. I can definitely probably do another series for sure. It's just a matter of when and where
Mm-hmm.
and a matter of what I'm going to do it about. So if it has a really good plot that I see it doing more than one book, then yes, I can do another series. I do have a few, as I said, I do have a few other um, book plots that I really would like to explore. But who knows?
Are they going to be based on like this is obviously a personal story for you?
Hmm.
So, do you think Mended actually out of curiosity now that you've piqued it a little bit, do you think Mended is going to be based on, I know like 25% of the series is your personal experience, so would Mended be pretty much where you are? Is that what you're basing Mended on? Or,
Like what I
um,
am now?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because like I mentioned when I said that Caroline has a lot of things to fix. Um, and they're obviously, and then they comes into, possible happy ending. It does takes it resonates with me because when I met Daniel, I came from an abusive relationship and I had a lot of skeletons in my closet, and there was a lot of things
Mhm.
that I had to work on in myself, and a lot of things that he had to help me work on in order for
Mhm.
us to be able to move on in our relationship and to get to the point that we are today. And there is some stuff that I'm still working on. There's a lot of things that I continue to struggle with.
Mhm.
If there's too many things that go on at once, and for stress, I lose a piece of myself, and it becomes distorted and I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of things that could happen. So for
Mhm.
myself, it's kind of figuring out you're not in that situation anymore. This person is trying to help. You need to stop what you're doing. And a lot of the times I just revert back into the old ways of just being, fighting for my life, and in a sense of just, in the relationship when I don't need to, raising my voice at things I shouldn't, having no patience. And I still have no patience. I never really had patience to begin with, but um, there's just so many things from the past that have just come back on to haunt me that I haven't been able to fix 100%. And I'm still working on it. And I think that I'll continue to work on it until, the time
Mhm.
comes where I don't need to anymore.
Mhm. So would you be open to an idea? I'll just say I have a very big story, which you know a lot about. Very, very big story. Where I was, where I am, where I think I'm going. So is that something, you know, let's say I brought my story to you, just for anybody that's listening or watching. Now, is that something where we're like, would we ever be able to spend time with you, give you our entire story, and see if it's worth contributing
Well,
to maybe like a novel being done?
everyone's story is worth something. I'm very intuitive when it comes to people's stories, and obviously when it comes to my story and abuse and stuff, to hear somebody else in that predicament, obviously I pay 100% attention to it. I 100% understand, and you know, to be able to write someone else's experiences because I've been through it is just I can really capture a lot of the things in real life, and then you feel like the scene is just playing out again. And although it
Mm-hmm.
might be hard, in a sense, like you're reading it and then you're like, oh my God, I've been through this, and I'm watching it happen all over again. But in a sense, you're getting your story out there. It's great. And in a sense, if I did your story, it hurts, but it gives you some peace of mind knowing that you
Mm-hmm.
can always look back on it and know that it's out there now. And it honestly feels like a piece of you has been, like a weight has been lifted in a
Yeah,
sense, for sure.
absolutely. That would be like amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. I would be honored to do that for you. Honored.
oh my God. I would love for you to do that. I could give you for what I've been through too. I'm sure I can give you quite the series with no mended at the end. We're just gonna keep going. No,
Oh, I
I'm
just want
just
to take this time to say my cousin AJ. He said something came up and he will touch base
yes.
soon. So hopefully I will get to talk to him soon. So Adam, if you rewatch this, I'm very glad that you were here to, be with us for the time that you were, and I will talk to you later.
Yay. So in Broken or Lost and Found, did you ever find there was any particular scene that was extremely difficult? And I did explain this in the Facebook Live. I don't mean difficult as in like trying to put your mind to paper type thing. It's more difficult, like emotionally draining, difficult, maybe times you had to stop to pick it back up again to get yourself through it. Has there been any of that?
Yeah, like the scenes where I wrote about, Amberlynn and Caroline talking together in the basement because they were both kidnapped. As I said in the Facebook Live, that was super, super hard to write because, um, just being, how do I say that? Just, just being there to write that, and then you think about all the other people who've been kidnapped or taken, and you think, did they have those conversations too, and how they must have felt and being in the same situation. And then you just kind of think that even though this is fiction, this does happen a lot, and this does happen a lot in real time. And it was very emotional to write, and it was very hard to write because you always have that in the back of your mind that this has happened in real life. And
Mm-hmm.
it's hard not to think about when you're writing stuff like that. And it can be very, upsetting to write.
Yeah. You can tell like through your whole series too, like, what Caroline's going through is just, I don't know how anybody's gonna make it coming from something like that, but she's so strong. Like you've
Yeah.
made it, she's so, I'm not even talking physically, but to be able to go through that like mentally, or
Yeah.
I don't even know. She's very strong. Like, just all her hope and faith and all that. And yeah,
Hope
it's
that
so
it'll get
hard not
better.
to like just talk because I know like on this YouTube channel that you started, we're only on Broken, like recording. So, and I only have uploaded 10 chapters. I do have more that is uploaded. I did, as I told you, I had an extremely busy, unexpected weekend.
Yep.
All of it, 2 days worth of it. Where did the time go? But I do have more on my phone actually to upload. But on this YouTube channel, we're only up to chapter 10 so far. So that leaves me wondering, are these YouTube viewers like, have they only gotten to 10 or whatnot? So it's really hard to talk because don't want to give anything away. And I will say, like, because I am in Lost and Found, not that Broken, like what I've been reading, is not good. It gets so much better. Like, it just, every chapter that you do, you build, and it just gets so much better. So,
Thank you.
yeah, no, like going back, so you figure I read all of Broken, I've made it to Lost and Found with you, and now being able to go back to Broken and read just your writing from Broken to Lost and Found is out of the, like, you grew huge just in those between those two books. But I know Lost and Found is right where you love to write. So yeah, so like that's what you love writing about. So you can totally tell. Like, oh, you can tell. But, I mean, when I'm at work and I'm reading your novel and I yell out, "Oh shit!" Like, do you remember when I messaged you that? I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god," and you have people looking at me like, "This is just so good." But there's that, or your scenes, or you love it. You love it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, there's a lot of twists and turns I find, and I did a lot of shocking endings, and I usually leave my chapters on a cliffhanger. I'm really bad for that. Every chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
but it's just grown so much, and it's
Mm-hmm.
been nonstop like support, and
Yeah.
it's been crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy support.
Do you know how long of a break you're going to take between Lost and Found and Mended? And I don't even know if this is a question for other viewers. This is a question
This is
for
a
me.
you question. This is a you question. I don't
Yeah.
even have to think about anybody else. I know this is a you question. You know, nasty. Um,
What can you say?
well,
You're an
I don't
impatient
know.
little.
I ain't even gonna say anything, but yes, you are. I'm just like finished, like broken. You're like, where's the second one?
I know. What did you give me? I'm like, just anything, just anything. Can you tell me just a little bit of the next one? Something. A paragraph, even a sentence, just something.
Just give me anything. So I don't know how long of a break I'm gonna take. I do know that after Lost and Found is finished, I'm gonna get the two other books on Blurb and get them up and going, and see how that goes for like, sales and if there's any problems. So the probably, if I had, I don't even want to say a time because then you're gonna be like, I'm gonna say, what did they take last time?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
No, it was more than it was supposed to be 2 weeks. You took longer. I think it was like 3 weeks that you waited.
So I took a week longer. Yeah, because I mean, it didn't take that much. I didn't take that long. Usually, authors they take months and months and months and months and months and months to get their creative juices flowing and to write another book. And
But
I
when you
took
have a cousin like Alicia who rides you. No, I'm just kidding.
just a little. So yeah. I don't know. It might be 2 weeks. It might be longer. It could be 3 months. Your face when I said 3 months, you were just like,
Yeah.
seriously?
I don't know if I can wait 3 months.
Oh, I know you can't wait.
So I'll write your story for you.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
No, I don't think it'll be 3 months. I think it'll be between the same thing, probably about 3 weeks. 3 weeks, 4 weeks break. And then back to normal.
Yeah. And then are we looking at... Oh, I have something.
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about blurb.ca and blurb.com.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people are probably sitting here wondering, well, if you're putting it on the Dreamy app and you're adding a YouTube channel and we're getting all these chapters, why do I have to buy a book? But you can do that reveal.
Okay, because, well, I decided that for those people who've actually read my book, you really get into the mind of the characters and you really get to the whole story. But there's a few characters I never included in my books. Example would be like Amber Lynn's point of view, Calvin's point of view. So in my whole spiel here, I will be including 2, 3, maybe 4 secret chapters at the back of Lost and Found in different point of views. So this could be anywhere between Calvin and Amber Lynn, maybe Caroline's mom, a few others. So they're going to be secret chapters that are only going to be in the back of Lost and Found and possibly Mended. There's going to be hidden chapters in Mended as well. In the physical copies. So you can't get those chapters on our YouTube page. You cannot get those chapters on Dreamy. They will not be posted on Dreamy. The only way you can read those secret chapters are if you purchase a physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
because I mean, if you think about it, I've done a lot of free stuff. I've given the book for free a lot of times. Both books have been free for the longest time. I've never asked anyone to pay for it. And, I've asked people to say, hey, come to Blurb and, buy my book. And it's like, and people were like, well, do you make money off of it? Yes, I do. But only like $5, if less. Because I didn't want to make so much commission that it was too expensive for people to buy and then it'd be a ridiculous price. I don't really care about the money for myself in a sense. I mean, yeah, it's nice, but I don't really care about it. The only thing I care about is people holding a physical copy of my book in their hands. That is just nostalgic on its own. And I have so much joy when people hold it in their hands. But the thing is, like, a lot of people don't have a lot of people, they've been reading my book for free, and I've been doing a lot of freebies, and it's not like Mended is going to be, only on a purchase site and everything, and contracts where you have to purchase and blah, blah, blah for each chapter. It's going to be free as always, but there's always going to be a chance to have a physical copy, which a lot of people don't like to read online just because it hurts their eyes, or there's, other problems, so they like physical copies, and that's great. But that's the reason why I wanted to do the secret chapters, is to try and bump up more physical copies rather than free copies. So you get like a couple extra little freebies at the back of the physical copy books. So that's good.
That's amazing. So, with your YouTube channel, do you have any goals with it?
I hope that we can maybe get more subscribers and more content so that we can go further with it. If there was any type of money making from it, I mean, I think we'd probably put that back into the channel to help expand. And then if it grew like really big, obviously, like I'm not the type of person to say, oh, it's my YouTube channel. It's not, it's ours. So any money that would be made would be split between both of us, because I don't think it's fair for you to put all this effort in and then me to put effort in only for me to take all the freaking profits. That's not fair. So obviously, if it does grow and expand, and it's like you get paid, like, I don't know, let's just say dumb number, $1,000 a month, like obviously that's going to be split into half for me and half for you. I just don't think it's fair to do it that way. So
well, I just want you to know that's not why I did this. I did it.
I know. But it's just you put so much hard work into it. Like obviously I'm not going to take all of that. Like no.
Yeah. Feel sweet. So, I know we had a lot of questions from. We already answered, I think, most of these in the comments. Yeah, because it ended with AJ leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I
actually have some questions for you.
Oh, Lordy. I was trying to get out of that. The words just weren't coming fast enough. Oh, my Lord. Are you serious?
It's only 6.
Oh, okay. That looks like a whole big page back here.
So my first question to you is, how did you react to finding out that I could write?
Oh, my Lord. I was like, what? Since when? What? And then, getting into your story, too. And honestly, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that came out of you. But no, like, I feel bad, too, because I didn't know you could write. And you're my favorite cousin, so we won't tell anybody that. Create a war. No. But, like, why? Why didn't I know? Probably because I would have done this to you, drove you crazy. But no, like, I don't even have the words for, like, all I remember going is, what? What? And then when you read that first chapter, I was like, holy crap! And then nobody knew. Like, just
Nobody
keep going.
knew. Not a lot of people, even on like mom's side and my dad's side, like nobody really knew I wrote, and that's the good part, because then it's just like, here you go, here's my book.
Yeah. I'm amazed. Like, you are amazing.
Thank you.
At it. Okay.
So what was your initial thoughts of Broken and the series so far?
Oh my. Oh, I love it. I love it. Like I had already explained, Lost and Found, you can really see like your growth in it. It's made me scream out some inappropriate words in public places while I'm reading it.
Because it has made me squeamish writing.
Yeah. But Broken, I don't think, like with your title, I don't think I was honestly expecting it to go the way it has gone. Like I said, you do a lot of reading with other authors or, you know, even movies and stuff or TV shows, and it's very cookie cutter, like you said, like, you know what to expect, like, oh, look at that, like the boogeyman's gonna come through the door any second, like turn around, you know, and your novels aren't like that. There's such a connection, and it's like you can connect with, you're not connected with just one character when you write.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've made me hate Curtis. I will say, Calvin, you've made me, I hate him, but I feel sorry for him,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew a lot of what he's going through.
No.
Obviously, Caroline, Amberlynn, even like her dad, like, just like you can just connect with so many. I freaking hate Curtis.
I hate him too. I mean, I think that's why you know that I've written him well. It's just because it's just like when you watch a show or a movie and you hate one character, you know that the actor did a very good job portraying that character because you hate him so much. I think that's a good thing. I think that's the reason why that I wrote him so well. It's because a lot of people hate him.
But the way you've written as well, it's a lot of like edge of your seat. You know, it's a cliffhanger every chapter. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Like, you're just gonna be left out there, way out there, till she writes the next chapter. But it's good. It's so engaging. It's just, you just want to keep going. That's what I love about your novel. I don't even know, like, there's not a specific part that, oh, this is interesting. It's been like that from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like, the very first page is like, oh.
I literally had two people write in a comment like, "I've read your whole book in 2 days," and I'm like, "Is that like healthy? Have you not been
No, it
doing
is very
something
healthy.
else during the day?" And another person wrote, "That's nothing. I read it in one." I'm like, "But like, what about like sleep and eating and everything? Like, is that really healthy? Like, should you be doing that?"
Yeah. No, that's the thing is, that's why I wait. So I did finish up 41. I am very disappointed in myself for stopping. It's been a lot of, I know you're posting chapters, and I'll hit the like button because I love that you posted it. But at the same time, and that's just me as a reader, is your stuff is so amazing that I literally get angry when that little unicorn pops up and he's like, updating. No, you need to update now. So that's why I personally, and I'm not doing it out of like, I don't have time to read your chapters. I'm doing it out of, oh, I want to grab my blanket, I want to grab a hot cup of coffee, I want to lay on my couch, and keep the kids know if I read at home, don't bug me. Kyla has uploaded like a chapter and I need to read it. So don't bug me.
So you read chapter 41, right? So you have 42, 43, and 44 to read, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do me a favor after this live stream, go read those, and then send me a message when you're done, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna kill me.
You do this to me all the time.
You were late today. You gotta do
I
it.
know. Okay, I will. Oh, I will. Especially 4 chapters. Oh, 4 chapters is good.
Yeah.
4 chapters is good.
Okay, this one, I'm actually very, very curious because I've been wondering this myself. Because I've never asked anyone this, and I'm kind of curious if you do it. Do you like to brag that one of your family members is an author?
I don't bribe.
No, brag. Like, do you brag that one of your family members is an author? Which would you mean?
I don't think I brag. I think I first start the conversation with, oh my god, I'm reading this series, you need to read it. By the way, my cousin wrote it.
That's kind of a brag.
Maybe. But I never brag as in, I never want it to come across as like,
that you're better than anybody else.
Yeah. I want it to come as in, this is a good series and I know you're going to love it because we've read things like this before.
Okay.
And I don't want to compare your writing to any other things, but I will say I've always compared it along the lines of like 50 Shades of Grey, but like that type of reading, if that makes sense. What was the other one? Like a Twilight.
With all of the, sex and
But
stuff.
oh yeah. But yours is way more like intense and stuff. Like, because 50 Shades of Grey, when it got out there, it was big and it has a storyline where, it starts, the middle's rough, ends well. Like,
Yeah.
love it. And that's what I compare your writing. Like, meaning not comparing it to 50 Shades of Grey, I'm comparing it to, like, it's a good story line. So, but I mean, for people that I might not know, yeah, be all like, that's my cousin, but that's always because you've always been my cousin. It's not.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
it's
I
something
don't
I've
know.
always been curious about. So I mean, I don't know. Okay. Next
Does that
one.
make sense though? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Is it bad?
No.
Should I just be all like, my cousin wrote this? But then I feel like I would be taking away from like your spotlight. Like, this is you. No, see this book? See this book right here? You need to read this.
Shove it
By
in
the way,
people's faces. You need to read this.
Kyla, she's my cousin, so you need to read it. That's what I do. Not ever. Oh, so my cousin's writing these books, and like she's like my favorite cousin. I don't go like along that way. I go more along as like where it's benefiting you,
Yeah.
and I want people to be more aware of your series that you have out because it's so good. Like, it really is so good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next question. What made you want to start this YouTube page and do the audio readings for the Broken series?
What made me want to? Oh, so while I was at work, actually, I was listening to audiobooks, and we work in a very fast-paced environment, so naturally, I'm not going to be able to sit there and read a book while I'm working. And then, with our grandma, who hasn't gotten the book and doesn't know how to use apps, it made me think, like, can we make this audio? What about a YouTube page? Because you've already uploaded it to Dreamy, so it's not like they have to pay for it and we're taking away from that. Like, it was free. So, and then I think just because, now, if you were to hand me another novel, I wouldn't be able to narrate it. And I'm not narrating it just because you're my cousin. I'm narrating it because it's so good. And I want to spend the time because I think I've connected and I know and I understand each character now, that it's a little bit easier to read. I know we have had audio issues. This isn't working, background's not working, and we're learning. So I'm hoping, like, the more that we keep doing, it'll eventually get better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no, we don't have the top of the line equipment to be doing this, but maybe one day we will.
Yeah.
So, but I love it because, if people are in their cars or at home cleaning or at work on the line, wherever, just to be able to throw on the playlist for the YouTube and just have your chapters read to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. I like it. I like the idea. Hopefully I can pick up the pace a little bit more is what my goal is now that we've put together a few things. Unfortunately, I will say really quickly, this weekend has been, like, I have no time. There's been no hours. I unexpectedly walked in and bought a new truck, which has put me through the ringer with paperwork and running here and running there and every running around I have to do tomorrow morning before I pick it up. And then with my daughter and her riding. So I do have a couple chapters that I can upload from my phone actually, which I've been meaning to keep that going. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more paced like you. Now I understand actually. Me doing the audio for you has made me understand how you have felt with people going like, well, when's the next one coming out? When's the next one coming out? And you're like, I just went out and did this, this, and this, and this. And now it's like, I totally get it now. This actually doing the audio has made me relate to like your schedule. And I think it's made me a little more patient with you and your writing. Like I'm not all over you so much now. I could be, but I know what it's like. And I've been actually, to be honest, I've been watching the views on the videos too. It looks like our first chapter is getting views. And then from 2 to 10, and I don't know if that's just because maybe people haven't gotten there yet, and I hope they do. And I know like those first few chapters, I struggled, and retaping it or taping it, or you take a breath here thinking that you can take a breath there, but then when you listen back to it, it's like, do I redo a 16-minute video because I took a breath? So I'm hoping that we can find some programming and stuff that will just help us, or help me, be able to gap. And I have to breathe, or I need to take a sip of water or something, because I don't want to pause the video and fear that it might just delete, or I can't keep recording from that pause. So we'll figure it out. It's it is going to be a little bit of a struggle. It is all brand new. It's brand new to me. I've only ever read to my kids, so like for me, I don't like my voice.
Let's just say for right now, just for argument's sake, for me and you, this is a work in progress. I have no way to do YouTube. I've never done YouTube. I've only, watched videos on YouTube. So this is totally new territory. And same with you. Yeah. It's totally new territory. It's a work in progress. There is going to be some bumps. There is going to be some mistakes. And that's where we're going to learn to really, down the road, be able to really, work out these kinks and be able to really do this almost professionally, in a sense. If we can get the equipment, if we can, get that.
I would love to. Absolutely.
100%. Okay. So what is your daily routine for recording audio for the YouTube page, and have you had any difficulties or setbacks so far?
Oh, Lord. Okay. So my routine is, let's say I have been recording probably Saturdays, I would say. But when I do it on Saturdays, I do like 10 chapters. Is my goal pretty much. I noticed though that I said I have more chapters recorded because I couldn't stop last Saturday. I'm like, I'm just going to upload 10 though. I'm going to look like a crazy person when I'm going to read all 50 chapters in one day. But it's more of just getting up. I have this, want to see my microphone? Oh, this way. There we go. So that's the recording mic. And then, I don't know. I think I sit here. I have it all set up on my table. I get my book, and I think it's just coming so naturally because I haven't been like having to, like, when you're reading and then it's like you read a paragraph and it's like, oh, she yelled.
Yeah.
It's like I'm already yelling before you even say she's yelled, because you just connect that way. It's so natural, like I said. But other than that, it's if I can keep recording and just keep reading the chapter, that's I don't know. I don't think I have a routine. I literally just get up, sit, put this on, open the book, and I'm so excited to get in and do it that I don't even think I have a routine for it, because I'll do it here or there, anywhere. Like
here or there. Okay, Dr. Seuss.
But no, it's like, yeah, I really don't have like a routine where I think you'd have more of a routine because you have to do all the writing. Mine is just get up, check on my kids, see what they want to do really quick, and then I get to sit here because, they're at that age where they want to hang out with their friends or play Xbox, and then Ryan's in the bedroom, he's playing his Xbox, and I'm just out here by myself. So I'm like, I'm going to read. But as soon as I do, it's actually great because when they hear myself talking, like I have a big pair of headphones, so I can't hear anything else around me when I'm doing it. I can just hear myself talking. But as soon as they hear, you can see out of the corner of my eye, one of the kids is coming out of their bedrooms to be like, she's talking to herself. So then they realize, oh, she's recording. So the kids have been really good with it too. I mean, I know there's a few times that's probably something that's difficult is you get 14 minutes into recording and somebody slams their bedroom door. Like, oh, so I think it's more of a quiet workspace that I'm having difficulties with. Just pausing. I think we just went through this a couple minutes ago. But just pausing, maybe where, I really need to swallow.
Yeah, or take a breath, like, you said, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, you took a break too long here, and I'm like, oh my god, I needed to breathe. So it's working. It's working on that. And I find like I talk too long, and then then I have to cough a little bit, and you try to hold it and just keep reading. Like, don't cough. Now I'm focused so much on don't cough that So there's a lot. There's a lot. You think, oh, I can just open up a book and narrate it. No. It's not that easy. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot easier than, not that it's difficult, it's not something you just can't do. Putting yourself into each of those characters as well, because, I try to go a little bit deeper of a tone when Curtis and Dean are around compared to, like, if it's Caroline. So, trying to, and then have the conversation, too, so when you're reading your book, when Caroline's talking to her mother, like making it as if I'm talking to you right now. And not so, Caroline Castor is a quirky girl. I don't want to read a conversation like that.
Yeah.
So it's really understanding, and I think I've paid attention to your book. I know what to expect. I already know when Caroline's having a conversation with her mother, she's already yelling before you wrote I yelled or she yelled or whatever. So
it's kind of like basing like a connection and like, comparison between you and the character and connection you have with them. Makes it a lot better for reading.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love your books. You're amazing. You're amazing.
So the last question that I have is, what can subscribers expect in terms of audio readings, chapters published, etc. from you?
From you?
From you.
From me?
What can subscribers expect in terms of audio readings and chapters being published to the YouTube page, etc., and things like that from you?
Oh, okay. So I think our goal, so Saturdays I've been spending recording all day, like all day. Now I'm hoping maybe to start, so I think I can do about 12 chapters, and I've been trying to figure it out. Like, I can either upload them in batches of 10 to 12, so to say, like on a Saturday, and then does that last for the whole week? Or should I upload 1 to 2 a day like you're doing on Dreamy? So I'm still trying to figure out what the best plan is. That's why you see 10 uploaded right now. I would hope to have them. I try to just put it, because, I told you that when I'm reading your novels, it's hard when that chapter stops and there's not a next one.
Yeah.
And I get that. Totally get it. So my plan right now, the way I've been doing it, is Saturdays spending the day recording, because I don't have a lot to do. and then just posting them. So I'm thinking we're either going to do 10 to 12 chapters on a Saturday.
Well, in my honest opinion, I think if you do 10 to 12 chapters on a Saturday, but then you post all of them, I think it goes so quickly because, I mean, we're just getting into the end of Lost and Found, but if you do it like that and there's only 50 chapters, you'll get to
Yeah.
the end of Lost and Found before Mended is even started. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that if you record 10 to 12 chapters on a Saturday, then maybe just upload once per day, and then it kind of
Oh, we
gives
can do
it
that.
that, because then you have them all done and then you can just do it when you come home from work.
Yeah.
And then they'll take a couple minutes, but then you can do once per day so that everyone has a chapter per day, but it's not so much stress on you to upload them all at once, and then it doesn't go so quickly enough that, they're like, where's Mended when you're done Lost
Yeah.
and Found, and I'm like, I haven't even started it, or I'm only like a couple chapters in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's,
I think that would be good too. That might be a good plan. Maybe something I should have planned out a little bit. Maybe I think I just had it in my head too. Let's really try to push. Like,
mm-hmm.
I didn't want to put, like, I think we have a good solid 10 chapters
Yeah, for sure.
uploaded to at least let people keep going for a little bit. And not just like the first chapter where they're like, so what's this? So maybe now that might be a better idea. Let's upload one chapter. So let's
Yeah,
expect that then, one chapter a day.
yeah.
I'll still do all my recordings on Saturday then, and
Yeah.
then we'll upload
Because
one per day.
then if you have like let's just say you upload or you do record 12 chapters on a Saturday, and then you do a Saturday from Saturday, one per day is 7 chapters. Well, you still have another, you know, four chapters that you or four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Sorry,
Huh?
5 chapters. Sorry, I can't do math. Um, so you have 5 chapters sitting in your phone. So if something were to happen on the Friday or the Saturday, things get crazy like this weekend, you still have quite a few chapters in the bank so that you don't have to worry about,
Mhm.
if things happen, you don't, I have to record, you still have some in the bank. So like say on the third day after work, you're having a good day, record like 2 or so chapters, and then you can put those in the bank. Come Saturday, you're already caught up for the week. So you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So those extra chapters go a long way in the bank so that if anything happens, you're not screwed.
I think
So
that's a great idea. That's fantastic.
I have a bright idea every once in a while.
That you do. So I don't know if we had any more.
I have no more questions. Those are my last questions. I don't have
Oh,
any more questions for
thank you.
you.
Yay.
I hope my questions were
Um,
satisfying enough.
yeah, those weren't so bad. They weren't bad. Good questions though.
Yeah,
Wow.
the questions I wanted to know too.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me see. There we go. Sorry, I was just going back to our YouTube, the chat, just to see if there was anything there, and there's not.
I think there's only 3 watching, and your phone and my phone count as one, right? So
Oh, okay.
So I think there's only one other person watching, and I think that might be Crystal or
Oh,
Skylar.
perfect. So, what
But the,
happens when we reach 5,000 subscribers?
so when we reach 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, we are going to be doing a massive giveaway, and it's going to consist of special things. And I'm not going to say too much about it because I
Mhm.
want it to be a surprise. So if we can push to get 5,000 subscribers, then we are going to have a massive giveaway, and it's going to be like this whole thing. And then, like, of course, it's going to be good because I'm not the only one working on it. Alicia will be working on it too. So when we get to that 5,000 point, we're going to make a huge announcement. This is going to be a big thing, big giveaway. And it's something that you really don't want to miss out on. So
Sounds good.
so subscribe.
Yeah. So, you'll see under all of our videos then, like, share, subscribe. Let's hit 5,000. 5,000.
Yep.
And let's do that giveaway, and then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I mean, last giveaway was a big box of chocolates and candies for me, which you won.
I won.
But
I won it.
but it was a very, very big box, and a lot of people haven't tried Swedish chocolates and candies. And like I said, like before, Swedish chocolates and candies are very delectable. They're very delicious, and if you haven't tried them, you haven't lived. And I think that we'll be seeing um, more of those and giveaways in the future. So subscribe, 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 because we are gonna probably do that more in the future as well.
I need more of those square.
Yeah,
Oh, the chocolate's very good.
yeah.
Very, very good. I love it.
She can vouch.
Yes. Um, okay, so do you have any more questions?
I
Do
do
you have
not.
anything? No? I
No.
don't think I do either. I think we
Covered everything.
did well. Yeah. I'm sure. Are we going to do another live?
Of course, yes. There's going to be more lives in our future, of course. I'm not quite sure when. We can plan for another one later on. And we can possibly do something special for our lives, maybe to get more exposure and to get more people in here, because we didn't really have a lot of foot traffic in this live. And I mean, it doesn't mean there's not going to be people watching it afterwards. But I
Mhm.
kind of wanted more people to be in it to ask us questions during the actual live, because that's awesome to have that being asked, and more exposure. And I mean, there's a lot of I've been trying to get more exposure on social media and things like that. So
How about we plan for a live, just your fans? Like, obviously, I can be here to help you with the questions and stuff. But maybe to bring in some more traffic and stuff, we could just do a live audience author.
hmm maybe we can try it on Facebook as well, because I had a lot of
Mhm.
people jump in my live, a lot of foot traffic on my live in Facebook, and it was great to have a lot of foot traffic, but it sucked because I don't think a lot of people could get into my on our live because it was on your account, and a lot of the people on mine weren't friends with you, so they couldn't jump in. But I had quite a few people, and I really wanted them to ask questions and stuff. So I think that
Mhm.
would be great to do one, and then we could do another one on YouTube as well if you wanted. But yeah, I'd be very
Mhm.
excited to do that for sure.
Absolutely.
So let's
Maybe
plan to
we'll
do that.
aim for Saturdays since I'm home more on Saturdays too,
Okay.
so I don't have any barn issues.
Yes.
So, yeah. Well, this was fun.
Yes.
Thank you again for, I think it just lets everybody into getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
it
getting
was
to know you a little bit too, since you ask
fun.
the questions.
Yes, yes, yes. You're more interesting, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Daniel made me wear this. That's how interesting
Good
I am.
job, Daniel.
Yeah, no, he is like, you need to wear
Okay.
he's like, you look really girly today. I'm like, thanks. Apparently, I wear a
And
lot
here
of
I am in like a black
No,
t-shirt.
it's because I wear a lot of hoodies, right? I wear a lot of hoodies and jeans, and I don't wear a lot of floral things or anything really, really girly. I'm not into dresses and stuff like that, and so it's just when he sees me in something girly, he really takes the time to notice and appreciate.
Aw, that's
So
sweet.
I don't
Perfect.
know. So yeah, but thank you for those who joined in to watch.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, and we will be doing another live again on YouTube and on Facebook. We are going to do more of these. These are great
Mhm.
fun, and like I said, I want more foot traffic. I want more more people asking questions, and I think that's something that we need for exposure and to grow this YouTube page and along with the other social media accounts. So definitely, definitely, definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
All right.
we should end it. And yeah,
Well,
okay.
you have a fantastic sleep.
Yeah, it's like 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Perfect.
I think right now would be a lovely time for you to have dinner. So I'm gonna let you do
Absolutely. I can smell it. It smells very good.
that. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you everybody for joining, and thank you, Alicia, for joining me. And we'll do this again.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.